making critical decisions about national infrastructure, about complex developmental policy, and about ongoing maintenance priorities in critical areas of national development. I suggest that this has been costing our country untold penalties in failures, inefficiencies, and in mistakes. Unfortunately, familiarity breeds contempt, and the prevalence and general reliability of these complex engineered systems tend to lead the general public to think that almost anyone can routinely manage such complexities. And there are no shortages of examples of such thinking around. The situation with our South Coast source situation, our ongoing reality of potholes, and this in a situation where, at a seminar that we held, our leading road experts says to us that this need not be the case. The issue of sick buildings, it is not generally understood what this is costing us as a country in terms of loss of use, money spent on repairing relatively new buildings, and the disruptions and disrupted productivity caused by sick buildings. And also another example that comes to mind is our clear unpreparedness for a major disaster, which became clear to us during a seminar we had on hurricane preparedness. And there are other cases where clear inefficiencies in the management of complex resources are compromised for lack of top quality engineering expertise. If I did not mention the area of transport, it is purely coincidental, and not because the minister is here. As I said, BAPE held 4 seminars in these critical areas during the year, and these were very, very instructive in guiding our feelings on this issue. In every case, it became clear from the experts presenting that our problems in Barbados stem mostly from inadequate engineering management systems being put in place at the national policy level and the practice, the top level maintenance and operation of these systems. There is no way that any one of you here will get on an aircraft and allow anyone but a trained and experienced pilot to take control of that aircraft. And this is despite the fact that modern aircraft are so sophisticated and safe that they can practically fly themselves, including taking off and landing. But yet, as a country, we routinely hand the control of our most complex national infrastructure over to persons who are not trained, not experienced to drive them. And we express surprise when we have mishaps and even serious crashes, as we have seen on our South Coast. So BAPE is calling for some urgent, radical changes in Barbados, and we feel that it needs to start with the Engineers Registration Act. Now, some years ago, after a mishap in Barbados at the Garrison Savannah, in fact, with the collapse of a spectator stand during a Davis Cup tennis match, our government passed the Engineers Registration Act to ensure that future public infrastructural design was done by trained, experienced professionals, and so would not suffer those kind of mistakes. This was a major step forward at the time in protecting our national assets. But this was back in 1976. However, our world has become radically more complex, more sophisticated, and let me add, more dangerous since 1976. That act no longer adequately protects our current infrastructure. And this can be seen from the many examples that I have already cited. Now, I happen to know that Minister Duguid is fully committed to the reform of this act. We've been lucky to have some discussions with him, and he's fully on board with that. And I also want to note, and it is with pleasure that I note this, that where he has had the opportunity to make a single appointment on the current Engineers Registration Board, his choice was none other than one of the most eminent, knowledgeable, and respected engineers in the whole Caribbean region. And I speak of one engineer, Tony Gibbs. So we are therefore particularly excited that this particular manager, this particular minister, is in tune with the seriousness of the challenges that we face as a country, and that we can indeed make some positive progress in these areas. BAPE will therefore be focusing on the following areas for the next year. First, improving the professionalism and the image of engineers and engineering in Barbados. Secondly, we will focus on educating the public on the role, the training, and the importance of engineers to the success, to critical national projects in this advanced era of knowledge and high technology. 3, on supporting the minister and the ministry in upgrading our legislation, and we speak specifically of the Engineers Registration Act, but also of the Building Authority Act, and even the Town and Country Planning legislation that's being worked on. And fourthly, we will be actively seeking to attract our brightest and best young people into engineering, because the country will need to have our very best talent and brains, even more so in the years to come. Engineering is not about being good at mathematics and science. It is actually about being an innovator, a creator, a problem solver, and a proactive action taker. It is a special skill that requires special knowledge and special talents, and this is why we will be focusing on those young people and getting them, rather than doing all sort of miscellaneous other things, and I'm not going to call any professions so as not to upset anybody, but we need to get that talent into engineering because it is so important. It is because engineering is about actually doing positive things that we are particularly proud to honor one of our new fellows who is not being able to attend this afternoon, and we will apologize for his absence, Mr. Kendrick Blackman, who is being honored because he has exemplified what engineering professionalism is through his multiple decades of innovation, creativity, and problem solving in the electric power design and construction field. And his contributions typify the kind of outstanding performance that we will characterize by the other honorees that we will honor tonight. But we really want to especially mention him because, unfortunately, he's not able to join us tonight, and he sends his apologies. His inputs range from the old days when electricity was seen almost like magic, all the way up to recently, as the BWA headquarters, the BOBAB Towers, Starcom Network, new offices in River Road. So he has been working for many decades doing outstanding work in Barbados, quietly behind the scenes. I want to close by offering congratulations to all of our honorees, to our new honorary members who will be joining BAPE tonight, and a special welcome to them again. These are people who practice engineering, who make engineering happen and make changes in Barbados for the positive. Thank you all who are here tonight for coming out to support what we are trying to do, and especially because you've come to show support for our really outstanding engineers who are being honored tonight. I close by asking you and inviting you to have an enjoyable, pleasant afternoon as you join us in taking engineering forward, because engineering is indeed the future for Barbados. Thank you very much.